Hey guys, I got a funny one for you on this one. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily post it. Um, but I did want to try and see, and we'll see if this one makes sense, or I hope it makes sense. And with all of these, I know I definitely am notorious for doing one takes. And so maybe in the future I'll have more time to uh, not throw these together or go off script. I do make templates, but it's not always perfect. Um, what I've been trying to do for years is I've made the goal of trying to grow my hair out, and on and off, I try and grow either a beard or some type of facial hair. And one of the things that is so funny is for the longest time, I get to an awkward phase, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not really liking it, or it's touching my ears, or I can't style it, or for some people with sensitive scalp, I don't want to say hurts. It doesn't hurt a lot, but it agitates you, gets at you, and could lead to like a headache. Or some people will wear hats to get through that. Um, and one of the best pieces of advice that I've seen, though I can't honestly remember if I saw it on the internet or if it was a friend, and so I would give them credit. It definitely wasn't me, but worth sharing in my opinion, is if you were in the process of making a cosmetic change, like growing out your hair to a particular style, or for the guys out there wanting to do the beard, one of the things that I was told, and I think is such a good outlook for that type of goal, and maybe it's approachable with weight loss, but I'll leave that up to you guys. And it's this idea that, let's say I'll use the beard for instance. For me, that's just the easiest one because I failed so many times. And it's this idea that if you're actively trying to put time in something, that the returns in the future, like the look you're going for, it's not going to be immediate. So you need to be patient. And so let's say you have this look in your mind. It's like, oh, I'm going to grow my hair out through the summer. I'm going to go for this particular look. And at some point during that process, maybe it's a hot summer and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this anymore. I'm going to go to something shorter. I'm going to get rid of it and start over. That impulsive feeling of starting over doesn't take long at all. It would be so quick. You can either go to your local, hair salon or barber shop, and it's so quick and easy. You can cut it off with no problem. But the journey to get back to where you were, whether that's a month, 2 months, 3 months, longer, um, cutting it will be quicker than coming back. And I myself have lost count, that I'm like, man, the beard's looking good, but I'm just having a bad beard day or a bad hair day. And it's like, you know what? I'm cutting it. I'm done. It's too hot out, so I'm done. And I'll do it. And then a day or two will go by. And I wouldn't say I have like, buyer's remorse with the barber shop, but it's like, man, I shouldn't have done that. And I've had friends who sometimes they show that support and they're like, oh, it's looking sharp. But then the friends who are paying attention and they're like, oh, I thought you said you were growing it out. And then it's like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but I go right to it. It's like, oh, it's hot, or it was bothering I'll give the whole list. And it's like, well, if I was serious about that goal, and this is the part where we can kind of hopefully reorganize this, and there might be something here for people out there. But if that goal is delayed, like a 3 month look or longer, for every month it's been, give yourself a day. And I thought that was the most powerful advice. That if I'm 3 months into a beard, give yourself at least 3 days to say, hey, I'm currently not liking it. I've shown a history of getting to that point where I don't like it. But what will change? And in doing that recently, I know as of late, it's probably a slower process. Or if you look back, you might see in some of my other videos or photos. But um, I've been able to make that progress with that advice. That it's like, oh, and we all, I think, will get them. I think we'll all have a day that challenges us, whether it's maybe this is applicable for those pursuing weight loss or things that are more cosmetic, that it's like, I'm not having a good day. Like today is a cheat day, or are there ways? And there are going to be moments where, whether we approach this through hair or beard or weight loss, that there may be days, I wouldn't call them full cheat days, but there may be ways to work around and still obtain that goal. And so if we approach it through like hair, if the ears are what's bothering you and you're growing out the top or the back, maybe trim that up, and maybe that would help if that's what's bothering you. Or if there are elements of the beard, there's a lot of guys out there sporting maybe a goatee or something a little lower, if that's the part that's bothering you, and that might give you more time if that's what you're looking at. And for the weight loss kind of look at it, I wouldn't say go completely all out and break any type of diet that you're trying to go for, but it might be worth the kind of Parks and Rec style, treat yourself maybe once a month. And I think that in a month's time, it wouldn't be habit forming, but you do want to be careful. At least for me, and some of those beard mess ups I've done, where maybe you trim this and it's like, oh, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better with it now. And then you trim this side, it's like, oh, uh-oh. And then you're going down, 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 down. It's like, well, let me try this. And it's like, oh, I hate that. And then that impulsive, and it doesn't mean impulsive like a personality, but you feel very compelled to try and fix it, and you get kind of stuck in a rut until, before you know it, that goal started over. And again, using the beer, like, it's completely started over. Or for those trying to either quit something or make changes in their health lifestyle, a cheat day could turn back into falling back into those old habits. And so it's definitely a balancing act. And I just wanted to share that advice. It came up in conversation here recently, and my friend really, I think, took it to heart. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do a video on that. And again, for however long that you've been on the journey, it's worth giving yourself a day or a week, depending on the length, and give yourself, for instance, you've been growing your hair out a year. I think it's more than fair. Give yourself a month to think about it, because a year's worth of time compared to a month, you might thank yourself. And then at the end of that month, it's kind of a goal within a goal. You're like, you know what? I've thought about it. I think I'm ready for change, and that's wonderful. At least you did so, like, with a good conscience, and that, I think, would help with that kind of buyer's remorse feeling, where then you make the change, you look in the mirror, and it's like, shoot, I thought I was making that goal of growing my hair out, losing a couple pounds, or a beard, or whatever it may be. I think that gives you a better, from a mental healthier look. And it should decrease that kind of not remorse, but that potential regret towards making that change prematurely. And so, like I said, this one, as a few of mine are, hopefully this one makes sense, or there's something to be you can take from it. But I'm definitely open to deep diving any of these topics. If you guys see anything out there, or if you see anything you'd like to talk about, let me know in the comments. I'll try and do my best. Right now it's just me, so I will read as many as I can for you, and come up with new ones to talk about. Appreciate your time. Take care. Bye.